wanted to do a video really with this mare and just talking about some stuff which I think was really interesting. So this mare's been under saddle just over a week now. Yeah, and I want to talk about when should you go harder? Should you go harder? There's things like people talk about, you know, like Ray Hunt and Bill Dorrance, and about, you know, Harv or Tom Dorrance. Tom Dorrance did but Martin Black mentioned Tom Dorrance on one of his paid things that I paid for and watched, and he said, like, if you got a problem, halve the amount of pressure you use, or halve anything you use, and halve it again if it don't work. So, you know, that's where your less is more comes. But to a point, where do you stop? And where can you get harder? And these are the questions I want to ask. And this mare is heavily in season at the moment, and it's the first mare I've actually noticed that she's in season, because of what she's doing and stuff. But it took me a couple of minutes to put the bridle on this mare, and obviously it is all new to her, because she basically said no, not in a horrible way, but a very noticeable way. And then when I go to get on her, or even just ask her to stand still like she is fidgeting now, you know, I took probably 5 minutes to get on her, just because she was trying to itch the bridle off with her leg, for one. She just tried to bite my toe then. And, yeah, and then she was trying to scratch her belly each side, and, you know, I know there's some flies around, but there's a car gone off up there on one of the drives. But, you know, how long? So she's trying to bite the cinch there. So really, you know, obviously I can't let her bite the cinch. I just want her to stand and be patient. And I don't want to ignite a fight, if you like. Because I think of baby horses, especially at this stage, as toddlers, like little kids. And this mare, I think, you know, she's not an arguer or a fighter, but she reminds me of a toddler that would ask why. Why have I got to do this? Why are we doing this? I'd rather be over there. But what's funny is she's very much a mare that wants to be with you. And she has been pretty easy, like, to get on and stuff. But she's given me a few indications, whether it's just because she's in season, where she's fine in the arm pen. But when I bring her out here in the open field, she wants to magnetise to money pit. She's not really bothered about the babies, but she wants to magnetise to money pit. So, obviously, because that's a sort of issue, she doesn't do anything. She just leans over. And if you sort of put the rein to her, she'd want to walk pretty fast over to him. So, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, where do you get this information from to deal with this stuff? Because it's all right people talking about all this hairy-fairy stuff, and, you know, this journey people are going on, like we say Warwick, for example, and all the people he speaks to. And, you know, they say, oh, you know, you're doing it wrong. Or I was listening to a podcast with Leslie Desmond, and she was going on about feet, horses' feet, and how, you know, they should go heel first, then toe, not toe, and all this. Again, like a whole different subject. But, yeah. And you think, well, where do we get that right information then? If everyone's singing different hymns and not singing from the same hymn sheet. No. You know, it's all right saying, oh, you're doing the wrong thing, or most people are doing the right thing, but who's doing the wrong thing? And who do you ask? Who do you know is doing the right thing? So really, like, I'm doing this little talk here, and I'm sort of playing with her while she's doing this business, but I'm not being offensive to her. So I'll try and take the approach of Mark Shard when he explains his horsemanship like his Aikido. So it's like a martial arts that you only use defence and not attack. Because I know from old school training that, you know, maybe I should bop her in the face or tell her off for doing that. But instead, in my own journey, I'm listening to all these people that have been around the old horsemen, and they say less is more and do less. Don't be offensive to the horse. Don't get, you know, attacking them. They have feelings and they can feel a lot. So I sort of get to the point where I'm going to say to this mare, you know, this is how I want you to behave. And unfortunately, you've got to deal with some of this stuff that's on you, like your saddle and me. And as you can see, she doesn't do anything really naughty, but she is definitely telling me she ain't happy about maybe the saddle or whatever on her back. But has she just got to get used to that? Is she trying to tell me something else? I don't know. So she's yawning, so hopefully she's took something in positive from that experience, but I'm not attacking her. I mean, she's pretty good on the ground. She's a bit pushy, but apart from that, I can't trust her in the side pull because she is so pushy, and she would definitely be one that would very quickly learn that she can push through the side pull. Hence why I've got her in the bit, and obviously her owner needs to ride her in the bit, or wants to ride her in the bit. So, you know, in this behaviour, so I'm going to move her feet now, just because she's getting a bit antsy. I think she's stood long enough and she ain't done anything horrible. So she's offering the forward, and I'm going to take it. And I wouldn't get in a battle. But what I'm saying there, just around that corner there, she just got a little bit faster because she wants to go over there, basically. So is she just uncomfortable with the saddle? Or is she saying, get off me because I want to go over there? That's the question I'm trying to ask here. Okay, so she's looking over there, she's backing up over there. Let's just ask her to go forward. She wants to stand still now. You know, it's just stuff like this where, you know, guess what? We've got to go to work. But am I going to make things worse by ignoring these signs? Or do I take a little bit of time? There she goes again. She wants to go to the left towards Money Pit. And just not argue with her. I've got to have a lot of patience here. But that's the fast there, where she wants to go to Money Pit. But I like it how she's listening when I do ask her. I'm only asking her very lightly here, directing her, but she is leaking out, even over there now. So it's very hard to sort of keep that connection with her, and I'm persuaded that I want to go over here and then giving her a release. And like I said in the other video, my first ride on her, you got to think there's a lot of pressure going on, especially if she's not too good with that bit yet. So I've got to be slower with my hands and gentle with my hands for her to keep connection with me. Otherwise, if I get too rough or too hard on her, then she is going to want to magnetise the Money Pit even more. See there, she almost picked up a little trot there. That's all right, but she is listening, and I might just rest her here. Whoa, man, whoa, man. Oh man. And pretty much go the opposite than what I've been taught. Like, really, I should take her over there and work her over there. Is that the right thing to do? And the only reason I haven't done that is because it's electric fence. She is in season, so if she starts reversing into the fence and Money Pit bites her and she kicks out the fence and gets caught in the electric fence, it's like one of them, isn't it? She has got to learn to take orders, but in the way I'm thinking, is this got to be little and often, so this doesn't escalate into something else. Like, she's telling me, but she is doing what I ask her also. So it's just that fine line of how do you handle that. And this is, you know, I've got a couple of friends I've invited to do sort of some talks with regarding this, okay? Because there's one thing that I could you know, deal with this. I mean, look how light I'm being. And I'm very, very, very hot on my timing. Like, I got her here because she wants to go over there and wiggling a bit. So I'm just waiting for her to relax like then, and then I'll let her go, nice and slow. That's a better mindset. But I'd rather fight at this level. And I'm not really saying, I don't like using the word fight, but I'd rather put a suggestion in and not, you know, go, well, bam, and kick, and we're going to work over here and I'm going to trot you out. Because at my mind, she ain't ready to trot, because, well, look at her mindset. I need that relaxed mind, not this busy, horrible mind I've got at the moment. And it's not that bad, but it's bad enough that if I went to go and trot and I'd have to steer and she's not with me, look, then it is going to escalate to something else. So I need to constantly just tell her, well, that's how I want you to behave. And then you get no pressure. And if you don't want the pressure, then come off the lightest touch, like that. Good. Then I'll release the pressure. And I say, can I stop? Can I stop? Thank you. So she resisted then. But like all this foot scraping business, like, again, just getting that mind, redirecting it. I just clucked a little bit and just took hold of that bit, just a tiny bit. And I say, let's not do that. But even in my body, how quiet I am, and I'm only thinking of really, I'm very aware what she's doing now, going trifling over to him, but I'm just going to say, let's not. And I'm going to put the suggestion in. Can you behave and come over here? Good girl. And this is the way I am going to go about it. But what I'm saying is, is this the right way? Am I being too namsy-pamsy with her? But I'm getting what I want out of it. I'm not getting the quality I want out of it. But I'll put a little clip of what she did. No. I'll put a little clip of what she did to me yesterday. It was quite funny. Never had a mare do that to me. So I will put that little clip on this. Good girl. But really, for me, I want her to relax. So he's a bit better now. So that's why I thought I would do this talking and see what she did about it. And then I'll get off her when she's relaxed, basically. And I might ask her some questions. I don't want that, So, again, I just sort of slightly picked my rein up and thought, no, I don't want that. And she stopped. Because at the moment when I'm up here, I don't feel 100%. She's not connected to me. She's answering my questions pretty good. Like even, can I say, we only did the backup yesterday. Just started doing the backup yesterday with the bit in. So can I ask you? I'll put my body in that position and I'm literally just opening and closing my fingers on that bit. I don't have to pull her. Each step I get, I just release it. And ask her again. Again, she's fighting on the bit, so I'm fixing my hands. But again, another question, should I be going with her? So the bit is not a block. Okay? Because I don't want to learn to lean on the bit. There we go. But this, and we're off again. Like, should I keep her stood there? It's just, I'm always experimenting in the training that I'm doing because I have no one to ask, and the people that are available to ask wouldn't do it like this, I don't think. And that's the hard part. Who do you go to? It's all right saying this training should be like this, but, no one shows these problems because everyone's scared that people are going to bloody sue them if something goes wrong. So that's why... No, walk on. I'm going to, invite a couple of like-minded women, actually. There's no men in what I'm asking, just because they haven't got the emotional feel that us women have. But also they're so stuck in their, aggressive ways. So here we go, we just wait for that party to end. As soon as it ends, good, that's got what I wanted. And I'm going to create a little group for these people for us to get together, and we only trainers, and coaches, but coaches that are trainers as well, to be involved in, so we can, talk about this stuff and try and, figure it out, because we're so out of touch with nature and energy and stuff. I was listening to Leslie Desmond's podcast with Warwick Schiller. It was really interesting. She says, like, TV is the root of all evil. She's never owned a TV. And if you didn't know, Leslie Desmond is the lady that co-wrote the book True Horsemanship Through Feel with Bill Dorrance, which I didn't realise I've even got that book. I've had it since I was a youth. I've only read it once. But you know, I've had that book for, you know, over 20 years, and I didn't even realise that was her. So here we go. Good girl. So here we go. This is getting better. Again, not fighting with her. I'm just trying to keep that connection with her. So I'm going to reward her in a minute. But this is what takes the time. And if people have got loads of horses in, then, you know, you can't take the time to do this, and you can't take the time to listen and watch all the stuff that I watch. But there comes a point where you watch all this stuff and you figure stuff out, and you have questions, and you say, well, should I, like I'm questioning, you know, how I'm handling this. I think it's going pretty well at the moment. Whoa. But it takes the time it takes, as they say. But, like Buck Brenham said, do more now so you do less later, or something like that. Because if I had pushed this, and, you know, went the attack way, where I'm going to probably bump her in the face when she does anything silly, you know, it could then escalate to her jumping around, maybe running over there and trying to buck me off, or rearing up, or being snotty and silly, because I'm not trying to coast around to this way of thinking. But again, even teaching this stuff is so hard, because I might do something naturally that I don't even know I'm doing, and trying to explain that stuff to people is hard, especially when they haven't got this mindset and the timing. It's stuff you've got to learn the timing, you've got to learn feel, you've got to read the energy of the horse. I can always feel when I get on a horse how they're feeling. I can feel their aura. Like this mare's pretty, like I say, I just feel like she's in a nice place now. But then she goes to that relaxation, then she goes like, bored now, let's get going, or, you know, let's paw the ground, or let's try and tread on that bucket over there, or let's bite the rein. But I might actually get off her now, because I really like how she is. She sort of started to relax. And again, with these baby horses, if you want them to learn something from your session, you've got to really find the time to quit. Like, yeah, I would have liked to do more today, of course I would. But at the same time, I need to set her up better tomorrow than she was today. And I also need her to have a positive experience from this. Like I say, she's only just been under saddle over a week, so I don't want her to think negative about anything I do. And she's quite willing to be with me on the ground. She always comes running up to me when I've got the head collar and I'm going to get her out, and she wants to be with me. So what is the difference of me being on the ground to being up here, and for, in her mind, for taking orders of me up here? So yeah, lots to think about. I like this. This is good. Thank you, Mare. That's exactly what I wanted. You only had to season we once, I noticed. Good girl.